Okay, so I've been sitting on this review for a while now for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was pretty confused by this pad in terms of what it actually is versus how it's marketed, which we'll talk about. Number two, I know how frustrating it can be for those of us in the US when you go on X-raypad.com and you see these pads for what looks like a pretty reasonable price, and then you see the absolutely shocking shipping costs and long wait times associated with that. So I really wanted to wait until we had a US retailer for these, and we finally do. So we're finally gonna get into why I like this pad so much, despite the fact that it's not what I expected at all, and despite the fact that visually it matches like almost nothing I own for any of my setups. You ready? Let's go! Today's video is sponsored by Lethal Gaming Gear. Based in the US, Lethal is your source for performance PC gaming needs. They offer custom paracords for a wide variety of mice that include 3D printed stress reliefs. No more heat shrink, no more flames, no more inconsistent installs. They also keep a full stock of micro switches, skates from CorePad, Tiger Arc, and Tiger Arc 2, as well as the CorePad grips for the hottest mice in gaming right now. And they now offer the top mouse pads from X-raypad, like the Equate line and the Aqua Control Plus, in 2 different sizes, stocked in the US and ready to ship. Offering 1-day processing on orders and 1 to 3 day shipping anywhere in the continental US, they can get your gear in your hands fast. New custom cable drops go live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern and ship out the following Monday. Need something you don't see on the site? You can always contact them and request it directly. When you're ready to elevate your game, don't get heated. Get lethal with Lethal Gaming Gear. Click the link in the description below. Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching BadSeed Tech, and today we're taking a look at the Aqua Control Plus mousepad from X-raypad. So here's where the confusion came in. I reviewed the Equate and the Equate Plus a while back, and I found the Equate to be a lot slower, but I liked it. I'd never really tried to main a control pad before, as I'm like a twitchy run and gun player by nature. So I reached out to X-raypad and I asked them to send their most control surface. I wanted to go totally the other direction away from like a hard surface or a fast or a hybrid pad. I was expecting to get something really slow or sticky or muddy or however you want to say it. And instead, this shows up, which at first looked really close to the Equate Plus. It's the same Munson fabric, which I've learned basically means polyester. It feels really similar to the Equate Plus. X-raypad does a really good job of digging through all the latest ODM and OEM mouse surfaces and bringing them to their store at a reasonable price. You can generally get everything custom printed as well, and there's so many varieties, sizes, and price points that honestly can get a little confusing. So today we've got their XXL size, the 900 by 400 millimeter version, or what I would call a standard desk mat version, with the ROB Strata pattern. It stands for red, orange, blue. This is standard 3mm thickness we're pretty used to, same natural rubber backing that we're pretty used to. I found out this backing is a patented product. That's why you see a ton of different manufacturers all using the same one. The edges are stitched, the stitching is pretty consistent, they're slightly raised, the x-axis is slower than the y. I mean, it's a mouse pad, right? There's not too much to it. At the time of this video, it's priced at $29.60, which is great, but if you live in the States, you currently have one shipping option, Express. It's $61.60, bringing your total for this pad to just over $90. Now, stateside, you can get this for $39.99, and USPS priority will get you for around $10. So you're looking at like $50. Understand that retailers, even in the US, still have to pay shipping to get this stuff over here, hence the markup. So let's talk first about where it stacks up in terms of speed versus control. See, I've been trained to think that control means slow. Think QCK or GSR, and speed means fast, like a hybrid, a hard pad, or a polished cloth surface like the Thor. This Aqua Control Plus pad messes with those definitions for me. Versus the Equate just feels like a slower textured cloth surface, but no coating at all. Feels fuzzy, almost, for lack of a better word. The Equate Plus is the same Munson polyester fabric, which is a coated fabric with a texture made of all these fine little, like, nubs. The Aqua Control Plus is essentially the same, but with more texture, like bigger nubs, if that makes sense. It's still that same Munson fabric, it's still coated, but it tracks different, and that's where the control comes in. It can still be fast. I can still rotate on guys in game with this no problem, even at 400 DPI and a relatively low sensitivity, but it tracks so well that I can still hit long stuff with a lot of precision. The Equate Plus honestly just didn't do a lot for me. It's really close to the Fanatic Dash that we looked at recently. Of those three, I was more taken with the standard Equate, but as as I've been sniping more, using semi-autos more, I've been using this Aqua Control Pad more and more. I still run SMG as a secondary too. I honestly think you'd be hard-pressed to find a style that this pad doesn't work well for. And look, if all this talk about surface texture and tracking sounds like I'm full of shit, which I could totally see if I didn't know better, this is the best way I can think to illustrate this to you. So control is not just synonymous with slow or stopping power. It can also be used to describe tracking ability, which is interesting to me because this, for me, plays a lot faster than like an Artisan Hind, despite visually looking like they have a very similar texture. The bottom line is, for me, this thing plays like a dream. I play more confidently with it because if I do miss my flick or I'm like on autopilot and I'm not pre-aiming and I get caught off guard, I feel like I can correct easier. This is the pad that I wanted the Equate Plus to be. The Dash is really similar too, but too fast and not enough control for me, whereas the Equate Plus, I just still don't track as well or micro correct well enough with it. The Aqua Control Plus just feels like I'm lasered in. I'm happy to see this pad in some different colorways that are a little less bold. I know they have a gray and black version, but with COVID and the shipping situation being what it is, no telling when we'll see that stateside. I do still plan on talking about the performance of the more aesthetic pads we see from like RMX, Novel Keys, and Dixie Mech, but we're in the process of moving right now, so you'll have to enjoy some shorter videos over the next couple weeks while we get relocated and set up in the new space. As always, links down in the description for everything we talked about today. Any questions, hit me in the comments or drop by the Discord. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.